All right, bro. New environment, new space, new energy.
Yeah, man, we out here. Yeah, we out here.
Let's do it.
T, I remember growing up, you know, I always tell you that my daddy was a lot older. And it was about the 7th to 8th grade. Of course, I never really grew, okay? Like all my friends about the 6th, 7th grade, they got a growth spurt. It was like God had forgot about me on the whole growth spurt. I've been the same size since about the 5th grade. Just being honest with you. But I knew that I could like work out. So I asked my dad to give me a little weight bench, right? You remember the green weight bench that you put those plastic weights on with the sand in it? And like if you lifting weights and you mess around, hit this part right here on your hand. Oh, it's over with. I had boy, I'm telling you, especially if it get heavy because you can't really do nothing, right? So one day I was showing out in front of my daddy because he was really there on the weekend because he worked 16 hours a day. He worked as a housekeeper at Bournes Hospital, and then he also worked as a housekeeper at Kirkwood School District. So literally he would work all day. I would see him for a few hours until high school when he retired. But on the weekend, I could kind of show off for my daddy, you know? And so I started lifting weights, started getting a little muscle, and I got my daddy down there with me. And so I was like, Daddy, watch this. I'm like in the 7th to 8th grade. And so I'm just pushing. He like, oh, you doing your thing. I put a little extra weight on there. I'm pushing. And then I said, all right, I'm about to put a little extra weight on there. He was like, boy, you sure? I was like, yeah, I'm good. And then I put this extra weight on there, and I didn't really account for the fact that I had already did 2 sets already, and them arms was like spaghetti. I got up under that weight, and I pushed it down, and I got about right here, and that just stopped on me. Just I couldn't do nothing. And literally my dad was on this side the whole time, but when I got weak, he hurried up and ran around there. And he was like, boy, let me get this off of you. He helped me and he got it up off of me. I'm so thankful because if he wouldn't, I probably would have been shorter because that weight could have started even more growth. I'm glad I grew just a little bit more. But I began to think about people when they are weak, right? Like a lot of times when you're so strong and you're doing what you have to do, I just want to let you know, like just like my father, he just kind of stood on the sidelines. But when I got weak, he realized that I needed his help, right? And so the Bible says that in our weakness, he's made strong, right? And so a lot of times we want to play strong when we're weak, not knowing that that's when God really wants to come in, just like my father, and spot us with the pressure, right? And so if you're feeling like I'm weak in my communication, I'm feeling like I'm weak in my finances, I feel like I'm weak in everything that I'm doing, just know that this is an opportunity for you to surrender to God. You know, I look at my life so many times, I get so used to being strong that I miss the opportunity to be weak. And so what I'm challenging my audience, you today, you say, Willie Moore Jr., man, I'm going through hell right now. Well, listen, let's turn it into heaven by surrendering it to God. You say, Willie Moore Jr., I'm not living in all sufficiency of my finances. Well, listen, why don't we surrender our finances to God? What does that look like? Even though I don't have no real money right now, you may say that, maybe there's an opportunity for you to sow a seed, right? Whatever that thing may be. You say, Willie Moore Jr., my communication is down. Maybe there's an opportunity for you to be gentle in the midst of somebody else's wrath. In your weakness, he's made strong. Flat out.